You are watching What the Flip podcast with you host, Victor Vogel.
Welcome. This is What the Flip podcast, and I'm your host, Victor Vogel. What the flip is up with militia? So why would people want a militia in America where people enjoy more freedom, wealth, and comfort than anywhere else in the world? Well, I'm not sure these people understand the meaning of militia. I also think they're a valuable wasted resource. And here's why. Here are the three definitions for a militia. First, a military force that is raised from the civil population to supplement a regular army in an emergency. Second, an army raised from the population to conduct rebel or terrorist activities in opposition to a regular army or government. Thirdly, all able-bodied civilians eligible by law for military service. In my day, back in the 1960s, that was known as the draft. I guess I was the militia until I joined the Army Special Forces. We have seen what happens when the President of the United States encourages the second definition, terrorism. Trump kept crying foul on the election with no evidence he perceived as his injustice. And finally, knowing people who supported militias aimed at overthrowing the regular law enforcement and military to stop a constitutional process were gathered at the Capitol, he, through a speech, told them to go to the Capitol and fight like hell. Now that is a description of the second definition of militia, acting as terrorists to overthrow law enforcement, the military, and the government. This has been tried before, which resulted in a civil war killing hundreds of thousands of Americans on American soil, only to be lost. The attack on the Capitol failed, and now Donald Trump and all his Republican supporters have turned their back on those militia and denounced them as idiots and thugs and terrorists. People were injured and lives were lost on both sides of that battle. And make no mistake, it was a battle. Now hundreds of Americans who thought they were acting as a militia under the direction of the President of the United States are finding out they were not a militia, but rather nothing more than a mob of terrorists. And they are finding out the hard way they have been betrayed by Trump and all those Republicans who kept encouraging them. So there are thousands of these people who are organized and seeking purpose and call themselves a militia, even though the term militia is not legal unless sanctioned by the government for emergencies that the government defines. Let's examine the first definition, which in the dictionary is the one most preferred and used, a military force that is raised from the civil population to supplement a regular army in an emergency. If these ragtag militia really want to serve a great purpose, then we have the opportunity to provide them a chance to serve. We have a national emergency. We could use a militia to support and reinforce rules and regulations about mask wearing and social distancing. It's well known there is not enough law enforcement to enforce these rules. We also know these rules have saved thousands of lives. When violated, we have seen surges that have brought us to the point of losing over 500,000 lives. Governors, both Republican and Democrat, have enacted mask mandates, but couldn't enforce the mandates. Had they had the power of a legally enacted militia, they could have supplemented law enforcement with citizens' militia to help enforce mask wearing and social distancing. Instead of these militia volunteering, they could be called up by the government and we could pay them to enact the mask and social distancing rules. In this case, they would be a legitimate paid government militia providing a tremendous service to America. Now, if you are an unsanctioned militia at odds with the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the United States, such as white supremacist, you cannot be sanctioned by the government as a militia. You are not assisting in an emergency, and you are not serving the general welfare of the people. My point is, we have thousands of organized individuals all over our country with a desire to do something that helps America. We know by simply looking at the facts that wearing masks and social distancing until we have a large part of the country vaccinated will help eliminate these restrictions such as closures and wearing masks. The data has been consistent for over a year. If you want to be a militia that has an impact on America, then offer your services to assist governors in upholding the recommendation of the medical scientists and become sanctioned moderators for mask wearing and social distancing. What are the benefits? You help save lives. You help to open up businesses and eliminate mask wearing and social distancing faster. You take the pressure off law enforcement so they can concentrate on crime. If you have a medical training degree or training at all, you can assist in vaccinations. If you're medically unqualified, you can assist in administration and now security of vaccines, which is desperately needed. There is so much a well-focused militia could do to help end this pandemic. If all of you who are charged with lesser felonies or misdemeanors during the attack on the Capitol repent your attack and offer your services in this manner as a militia, I wonder how judges and prosecutors would view that offer. Why fight losing battles when you can have a real purpose? Now this will work for those who are thinking of themselves as militia. It won't fit people who are racist such as white nationalists or white supremacists. Why are we not thinking this way instead of creating so much hate? All I see with these militia are misguided people who want to make a difference, but were captured by a cult leader and then thrown under the bus when he didn't need them anymore. I get the idea. You were suckered, and so was I. I was under the spell of a cult leader for too many years. When I woke up and saw the truth, it was like a rebirth. As militia, you can have the same feeling. You can contribute as a well-organized, disciplined body and can offer yourselves up as a militia to serve against the greatest enemy of Americans' existence, the COVID virus. This enemy has killed more Americans in World War II and all wars since then. You have to decide to step up and help, or continue to be driven underground and fight a guerrilla war doomed to failure over many years of agony. Happens so many times. It's your choice. I'm Victor Vogel, and this is What the Flip Podcast. Till next time, stay safe, stay vigilant in wearing your mask and social distancing, and get vaccinated.